Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today we're looking at some more of the All and Create stamps, and we're going to do an autumn fall card, and this number is 981 and it's designed by Tracy Evans and it's called Leaf is Better. And I thought, you know, leaves for autumn would be perfect. I'm going to be doing it on craft card as the base. So I've just taken my the piece that I'm going to work with, and that's about 1/4 of an inch smaller. I've masked it because I want to do a background first of all. So the colours I've chosen, or I'm choosing, are going to be, sorry, reaching up, Crumb Cake and Crisp Cantaloupe. Now, some of these are retired ones there. As I say, these are the inks that I have lots of, so I use those. But I wanted that sort of tone together to give that sort of warm autumn colour, but not have it completely autumn. So I'm just going to use a blending brush. I've masked this up, and I'm just literally going to take my blending brush. Oh, that was a bit blobbly, wasn't it? It's me not spending enough time on it. So I'm just, hopefully, I take it in from the corners first because that works better and you don't get that sort of bobbly bit, although I have done on this, but hopefully we can blend it in or cover it up with something. What do they say in craft? There's no such thing as a mistake. There's only something that helps you learn a little bit more. So I'm just taking this in on the center. Don't need a huge, oh, I think that's a little bit of glue. I was doing some hot glue, and you always get little streamers with hot glue, don't you? So this is sort of a little bit bobbly, but I think it'll be all right once we finish. So I'm now going to use the Crisp Cantaloupe, which is just going to give me a nice sort of warm peachy tone to it. So I'm going to take that in from here, just bring it in onto the center a bit and bring it up on there, so you can see sort of the color coming up in from here. So I can just take it over and just blend it across, and it gives that sort of nice sort of warmth to it. So any sort of orangey colour that you've got, I've used a fairly pale one because I didn't want it to be too overly bright. You know, I don't mind a little bit of brightness in there, but I just didn't want it to be too bright. So you can see I'm just going over to give it that sort of really nice sort of hue. And I think that's probably going to be all right. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. Now what I want to do is I want to just give a background. Let me just put that back up on here without knocking the camera. I've got a jumper on today because it's getting a little bit cooler now. Autumn's well on its way. Okay, so I need to just do some stamping on this. So I've got this leaf that's sort of going to go in the center, but I want to sort of create, I think I might stamp the leaf first, because I think I'm going to do a couple of the leaves, but I want to do just some sort of words in the background, I think. So I'm just looking to see what I've got with words in the background. Now I've got this one, which has got all sorts of different things on there. Let me see if this one will give me a little bit of just bits in the background is what I want. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit, I think. Okay, let's take this off. I don't want any of the words of arse and things like that in there. I just want, or do I have, hold on, I'm dithering because I've just seen, this is probably one of my favourites. This is number 756 and it's called Miniatures. And I love nature, plants, animals, landscape, coming together, working together to create the breathtaking beauty around us. That I think is quite good for autumn, isn't it? So I'm going to use that one. Let me just make sure I can get that one out. So it's going to be the one at the bottom, which is this one. Okay, and I only want it because I want to just fill in that background piece on there. So I'm going to put it onto a block, and then I just need to make sure I've got the words the right way up, which is always very difficult to see. What are they supposed to say? Nature is going to be the one at the top. So is that nature? I don't know. I'm going to have to put it on a scrap. Right, let me get myself a scrap out, and I always try and do that first. So I'm going to do it in black because I want to have that sort of quite bright definition. I could do it in a tone, but I think I want to do it now. Let's see if that, I think that, there we are. It says nature. I can see it once it's inked up. So I am going to take this. Let's see if I can do it on the bottom first. That's perfect. So I just want to take that out. I have a little bit at the top. And then maybe a little bit down on here. I don't want to have too much. I just want just some little bits. Sorry if my hair just got in. I'm trying to do it so it doesn't come in on the light like that. That I think is going to be fine. So that's going to be all of my background now. So I'm just going to clean this up with my rag. And then I can put this one back in. So this is the miniatures. We're going to be using some more of them because, as I say, out of all of the stamps that I've got, I'm using this one again and again and again and again because it's just got so many lovely things on it. If you look at it, you've got hares, you've got bees, you've got little sort of butterflies, you've got little ants, you've got words, there's just so much, and it's a tiny little stamp, but they are just perfect. So now I'm going to take this this tape off, and I just need to make sure that I've got it all. Should be able to take it just straight off like that because I've really de-tacked it, so I shouldn't have hardly any tacky on it at all, but I don't want to get the, there we go, we don't get it on the top. So I'm just pulling this off. As I say, I've really de-tacked it. My nemesis is this supposed low tack tape, and it never really is. But what I'm tending to do is I'm keeping it and using it a few times. I need to clean the black off of this, but if I use it a few times, it tends to get more, it detacks more as you're going. So it's me getting it stuck everywhere. But I'm just keeping it now and using it a few times before I throw it away, because then I find it works quite well. Okay, now I want to just make sure that I haven't got bits on there. You'll have to excuse the light coming through. I will put a piece of card in because I have a very bright light above me, which makes it very good for me to see and you to see, but not particularly. So we've got this in on the corner, which is nice. And now we need to start working with this lovely autumn leaf. So, or it could be a leaf of any time of the year, but I'm going to have it as an autumn leaf. And I'm going to put a couple of them in on here because I don't think one's going to be enough. I think 2, if not 3, and maybe I should have kept the mask on. I don't think I need to, but I think I want to do just a couple of them. So let me have a look and see, or I might just do one. I don't know. It depends how it's going to come out, because obviously there's, if we look on the back of here, you've got all of the things on the outside as well. So I think I just want to try and get as much of the butterfly. I don't know whether I really want to have too, or the leaf rather, but I don't think I want to have too much of the other things going on. So I'm going to take it down on here. I don't want to have this circly thing. But I quite want to have that leaf just as a leaf. And I want to have one coming out that direction. So let's put it down there. I need to make sure I press it in quite well. And you need to just let it rest, because we've just done a background. You will find that if you don't just let it rest a little bit, then the ink doesn't go through all the way, and that's what we want. We want to have this to be nice and detailed. So hopefully, if I just leave it like this, and you can hear when it peels off. Beautiful. There we are. That's lovely. That's exactly how I want it. And I can always add, which is what I will probably do, add a little bit more. And I need to ink this up again. You can always go round the edge and just add a little bit more if you want to. So I want to take this one to come in out on this angle. It's going to come in from there. It's going to come out at that angle like that. So you've got two of these lovely leaves with the butterflies in them, which I think are really rather beautiful. So let's give that a good old press, and hopefully that will have come out as well. There we go. Okay, so we've now got two really rather fine looking leaves on there, and now what we need to do is we want to make those very sort of autumn like. Oh, just got it over the edge there. That wasn't very good, was it? I'll have to put something in on that. I've just suddenly noticed that. Okay, so colours. I'm using my beautiful Derwent Inktense pens. We just get the lid off. Okay, that's what they're called, Derwent Inktense 24, because there's 24 of them, and they are really, really good for colouring because they are very vibrant. If you've got watercolour pencils, use what you've got, but I like these because they're very vibrant. So I'm going to use Baked Earth, which I think is this one. That's going to be for the leaf because I want it nice and brown. And then the butterfly is going to be in Sherbet, which is this bright yellow. I think that's Sherbet. Is that Sherbet or is that Mustard? No, that's Sun Yellow. Sun Yellow will be fine. And I want the Poppy Red. And I think that's probably going to be it. I don't want it to come up too dark, and I want it to be quite sort of orangey, because otherwise it is going to be too dark. So first of all, we're going to do our leaves. So what we want to do is we're just going to go through on here and just colour these in. I want these to come in nice and dark. And a little bit on the top here, and then this comes in on here because that's where the body of the butterfly is. Now I could bring you in closer. Let me have a look and see how. No, you're fine there. it's not a sort of a colouring exercise that you need to see all of the details. I'm doing this quite intensely, so you can see I'm not just doing just a little bit at the side. I'm doing it quite intensely because I want that really intense colour in on the leaves. And I might actually, I don't know whether, I might actually not even do the inside of the leaves, because we've got that lovely colour coming, the butterflies, because we've got that colour coming through anyway, haven't we? So I might just leave them as they are, although probably they will probably look better if they've got some colour in on them. So let's just go through on here. So I'm just going through and colouring right the way in on here. I do like doing autumn cards. As you know, I send quite a lot of cards out, and it's always nice to do cards that are seasonal. And as I say, I am enjoying using these All and Create stamps. And this particular artist, Tracy Evans, does some beautiful things, and they're quite simple. I think that's what I like about them. They're realistic, but they're quite simple. They're not over elaborate, yet they have that sort of, you've got the backgrounds and you've got all of the words and things like that. So you really only need a couple of stamp sets to start yourself off, and you've got a real sort of collection. As you know, I'm concentrating on supporting some of, as I'm from the UK, I'm supporting some of our British smaller independent companies, because I think, you know, times have been quite tough for everybody, and I think supporting locally, or locally as in your country, is quite nice to do. But I know that a lot of my subscribers are from, you know, America and Canada, but it's nice for you to be able to see some different styles and different things that are coming on. And again, most of these companies will post internationally, so you know it's nice to do that. Okay, so that's those colours. Now I was going to do, and in fact I am, so I'm going to do the outside of the butterfly in the, is that the poppy? Yes, it is the poppy. So I'm just doing that part and this part in the red. So the inside part here and the edge of these wings in the red. Like that. That part in here. This part round on here. And then this little one, because I want it to be sort of autumn colours. So normally, as you know, I love doing butterflies in blues, because I like blue butterflies. But I think for this, we really need to do it in some brighter colours, but some more autumnal colours. Okay, right, that's going to do for that. Now I just need to take a water painter, and as you know, I try and use ones that are not too, that are older, so that you don't have the colours coming and making it too wet. This is normal cardstock. It is quite heavyweight, so it's 300 GSM, which is what I like, but and you can get heavyweight cardstock, and that's what I tend to use, because it will take a little bit of water and won't buckle, but it's not watercolor card. so you're not spending the expensive watercolour card. And then I can literally just blend in, and I'm doing all of the leaf first of all. So I'm just taking that, and you can see as soon as you add some water to it, you get this lovely watercoloured look, and yet you don't have to use watercolour paints or anything. That's why I really like using pencils, because they do give the most beautiful colour. Now you could do them in different shades of brown if you wanted to. I'm doing it fairly flat, and again, part of the reason is I'm just showing you, and I don't really want the video to go on for too desperately long, because as you know, I don't do editing. I've edited a couple of times, but to be quite honest, I always find that if I've got people who are following along with me and making with me, then it's quite good that, you know, things are going in real time, because otherwise you have to keep stopping the video to try and catch up. Whereas if you do it in real time, you can normally do it and keep up the speed. Okay, so that's that. I'm just cleaning my brush. Now, I tend to clean my brush just on my hand, but that's me. And then I'm going to do the red, and the red on the outside, and then the red down in on here, and then I'm going to take the yellow, and I'm just going to do a bit of blending. So I want this red to just come through and give it a bit of orange like that, and then I can do the red in on here, the red in on the middle. I've got red down on here, and then I can take that in where the yellow is, so that the yellow has quite a bit of an orangey tinge to it, because red and yellow together will give me that sort of orange. So let's do this one, and as I say, if I want a little bit more colour in, I can just squeeze it just a little. And as I say, I do it on the back of my hand so I can control the amount of water coming out, because I don't like, see again, I've got a little bit too much water on there, so I can just take it off on my hand, then bring this in, and this will give me just a little bit of blending in on there. Take this one for the red, back on there, a little bit on there, and then just bring it in. So I just blend all of those colours in nicely so that they're not on there. Okay, so that's given us the sort of autumn leaf with the butterfly on there, but I want to accentuate it just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Posca pens. Way, says me throwing them out. It does help if I don't take them upside down. So I want white and black. Let's put the others in, that was good. Now these are the Posca pens, and these ones are standard colours, they're called, and you just have a mixture. They're fairly small nibs, but they're perfect. So what I'm going to do is I just want to accentuate the outside of this, so I'm just going round the edge. Says me, if I can, that's it. It's been I could see it wasn't coming out, so you can just go round the edge on here just to make it a bit darker. So you can see on here where it didn't quite stamp out as dark as I might have liked. And you just need to go round. Now you can do this with any fine black marker, but it just makes the edges just look nice again. Now this bit on here I think's fine. I don't need to do any more on there. I just want to bring it round this way. And bring up that leaf on there. So it just looks nice and sharp again, because again, when you're colouring, you quite often don't get this sharpness coming through, because where you've stamped it, it doesn't come nice and bright. Now that's fine on there. This one, I think I only need to do a little bit up on here to just bring that in a bit. And I think the rest of that's okay. It's not too bad at all. Okay, so that's just given a little bit of a high definition on there. And then I'm going to use the white, and I want to go round the edge of the, make sure it's coming out, yes. I just want to go round the edge of the butterfly in on here. Because I just want to give that just a little bit of extra definition on the wings. So it's going to come in on here. And it just, sorry, I'm going very quiet doing this, but it just gives just a little bit of just definition. Can you see the difference between the one and the other? So I just quite like that look. So, and I'm trying to do it so that I'm turning my paper as I'm going, so I can then get nice fine lines. Because I don't want to have big long lines in on here. I just want little fine lines. Take this one down again. If you've got a very steady hand, then you'll be all right to not to turn it round, but my hand isn't always the steadiest, so I just want to bring it round like that. So that's given just some extra definition. Now what I need to try and do is, and I want to do this quite carefully, is to, do I want to go on to the body or not? No, I don't think I am. I think I'm going to leave the body as it is. I don't think I want to move it across. I just wanted to have that extra little bit of definition in on there. I'm also then going to just add some little splatters. Now, you know me, when I do the splatter part, it never comes out particularly as I want it. So what I tend to do is, so if I take this and I try and do a splatter thing, see, it doesn't ever want to come out for me, and that's probably because I'm a bit worried about having too much in on there. So what I tend to do is, I've got two lots of Poscas, so I've got a thick one and a thin one. So what I tend to do is I will take the thick one and I will literally just add some splats like this, and just with my pen, without even thinking about where I'm going, I will just add some splats on like that, or dots, and then I can go in with my finer one and just add some little finer ones in between, because then they look like you've done your little splatters, but you're being a little bit more controlled, and you're not going to end up with great big blobs all over the place that you don't like. So you can see on that you've got that nice sort of definition, and that's literally, I've got two. You can see the difference in the sizes. So this is a large set, and it's called it's just mono colours, and it's got black, white, silver and gold, which is rather nice, because I like to do, as you know, I like to edge it with the gold. Now I wanted to add some little bits and bobs in on here. So I am going to see time-wise. Yes, I've got enough time to just do those. I'm going to add probably a little hair down at the bottom, because I quite like the hair just in at the bottom. I'm going to put some words and things on there. I'm going to take this, which is my gold pen, and I'm going to do some edging round there to just frame it, and then I'm going to put it onto this card. So I'm not going to show you that part. You'll see it on the front screen when you look at the video, but you can see how lovely that looks on the craft card. Sentiment on there, gold round the edge, and I think it will look absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.